Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Weekly Roundup. I'm your host, Jake Friel. Got a jam-packed show for you today. As always, myself, Steve Reichel, Ralph Del Vecchio on the ones and twos, and special guest, MMA fighter, Timothy Tyler. How you doing?
Doing all right.
Good. We got a jam-packed show for you today, as I said earlier. Going to be talking a lot of Flyers. Flyers are red hot right now. Going to be breaking down Sixers. Will Jason Peters return to the Philadelphia Eagles after entering free agency? We'll see. Obviously, going to be giving our UFC 248 preview, breaking that down, giving our winners and losers, as well as doing our brief interview at the end with Timothy Tyler, breaking down his MMA career, coming off a recent win recently. Congratulations on that.
Hey, man, hell bows from the man above, right?
Yeah, right? All right, first things first, get to our poll question brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy. Dr. Paul Vidal, Burlington, Cherry Hill, and Princeton locations. If you got any aches and pains, or you do anything similar to what Timothy does over here, doing some MMA, got a couple aches and pains, little sore muscles, give the doc a call. Let him know A2D sent you. To the poll question, the Flyers will go to the conference final. Agree or disagree?
I can't disagree right now. Like, you look at how everything's laid out. Like I said, the Stamkos injury is significant. You know, it kind of puts Tampa Bay in that kind of, you know, second round team that could possibly make an exit early. Like I said, you have to look how the Flyers are playing at both ends of the ice. You know, I was sitting there saying, like, the way they're winning faceoffs right now is just making them really tough to beat on both ends. I think they're like they're you know, one of the top teams in the league when it comes to that. You know, like percentage wise, as far as you know, the win loss rate on that on all lines. That's going to be tough to beat, especially when it comes down time to playoffs. So to disagree, they could be a conference final team, not win it, but in it, yeah, they could do it.
Yeah, I think so too. I also agree to the poll question, just based on just how hot this team is right now.
But also you have to look at it, like, look around the league. There's no one else playing that level. They just sat there. Right. They dispatched the Capitals. You know, the only other question is the team that always finds a way to give us the most trouble is to see how we match up with Pittsburgh right now.
Yeah.
But they haven't been playing that great this year, and I'm thinking age and them long runs are starting to finally take its wear on that team, and it's, you know, like we were talking about in the weeks leading, the what this team has to do, not just this season, this offseason, affects of what happens over the next 5 to 10 years.
Right. No, I completely agree. But again, at the same time, when you look at it that way, Pittsburgh's also been there before.
Yeah.
And my only
But that's why
niche.
That head coach is so important. He's
absolutely
changed things in that aspect where it doesn't matter if they're young or maybe not as experienced, but you still have guys like Giroux and Voracek and guys like that who've been in playoff runs before with this organization to say, hey guys, you know we've been in this situation. This is what to expect. You know it's going to get crazy. This is going to happen. They're not going to be an underprepared team in the playoffs. I don't see that happening.
But again, to the point, it also matters to have that experience.
Yes, but you have it there.
Oh, no, you definitely do in Alain Vigneault. You're right. But at the same time, you have a lot of young guys. Obviously, you have your veterans in Giroux and all the others. But at the same time, like I said, you have a young core. They haven't necessarily felt that playoff atmosphere just yet. But again, at the same time, they're hot right now. They're red hot. Carter Hart's really showing that he's that franchise goalie. And Elliott's playing arguably the best hockey of his career. And I don't think anyone expected that, which has been a pleasant surprise as well.
And we still have a stud waiting there to get back on the ice.
And Nolan Patrick, which might come back by the playoffs, which is
exactly
arguably
you add that speed on the edge on the outside there, who has a shot and can make plays. like in those tight spaces,
right,
it makes a difference come the playoff runs.
Yeah, and obviously
remember how much Danny Briere meant to those Flyers teams and stuff like that. So when it's gonna be fun to bring this kid, and this kid is 10 times the man that Danny was.
Oh yeah.
So like I'm just using him as an example, just somebody who used to kill people come playoff runs.
Right.
So, this kid's young, and we'll see how they do. And sometimes even being unexperienced just leaves you ignorant to some of those situations that maybe you can just play free and relaxed.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But I just think they're poised to go on a major run.
We'll
see.
I know.
But again, as long as the fire stays hot, we'll see.
Second round, but when you start to see these injuries, how they're playing, how the rest of this conference looks, it's kind of hard to say no.
Right.
Timmy, I know you're not the big Flyers fan, but what do you think, man? You're a guy that's outside the box. You think they can make a run to the conference finals here?
From what I'm seeing on social media, I think they can. I think they have the highest percentage chance to win the.
They have, that's another thing. People aren't too happy about that. Those models that the Flyers are the favorite now to win the cup. They've been rather upset about that. I shared them on a couple sites. See what you say, and people are just not happy about that.
No, it's just because they're that young team, and everyone's like, who the hell?
Yeah.
But also, they're.
But that was it's the same thing when we talked about last year when Vegas was that team. The expansion
the Golden
team,
Knights, yeah.
and
they got to the finals in their first
run,
year,
right? Exactly. And they're still in a position to do it again.
As long as you get in the dance, anything's possible.
Yep. See, hockey's different than any other sport when it comes to that way because you could be the better team at every aspect, but just the way things play out, like pucks bounce funny, man, and things happen comes playoff hockey.
Right.
It's not like how it is with basketball or football or these other sports. It's different when you get in the playoffs. It's what's going to make the difference for them to be able to make a run.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Without a doubt.
And obviously they have I think one of their tougher games tonight against the Sabres. So
yeah, I still got the like I said, I got that Pittsburgh game circled.
Right.
So just see what it is right before we go into this.
Well, it also matters too because their next they have one away game in between, but these next 5 games are at home. Which is huge. Yeah. Which is huge, especially when you're trying to solidify first place in the Metro.
But then also, you look at I think some stat came out. I'm not sure that yesterday or the day before, but Carter's Hart's freaking record, here at home is like 19-2-2 with a 1.64 goals against.
Something like that.
That's insane, man. Especially at home, you're barely allowing a goal a half a game. Defensively, offensively, that just puts you in a position to take chances up the ice.
And I can't think of a deeper hockey team, in my opinion. Like, from the first line all the way to the fourth line, the Flyers are just...
And it's funny how, we were talking about this team a few years ago, like, who's who, what's what, and it's just like this is this team is the disarray of the city when you start to look around. Maybe they're not.
Right.
Maybe Hexall knew what he was doing with this, and this is what we've beaten this drum before, but, he's put us in a position, man. We'll see how it plays out. Let's see where this run takes us. Enjoy this thing as Philadelphia fans.
Right.
It's something we don't get to do. Enjoy the moment for once, guys. Enjoy the moment.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All this bickering, like we talk on social media, it's been addressed here. The Flyers fans, faithful, just do not want us talking about them. It's like you can't talk about us.
Right.
Guys.
Like, if you weren't here before, then you
we
shouldn't
were
jump
here.
on the bandwagon.
There was nothing to talk about.
Right. There was nothing to talk about. They were
missing out. He hit it on
team.
the head. They were not a viable contender yet. Did we speak about them? Yes. But there's a pecking order in this city. And guess what? I'll even give you another note. Combat sports comes before hockey. Period.
Oh, no, I can agree. It depends on the city, though, too, though.
Yes, it varies from city to city. This is, is it a rich hockey town? Yeah, but it's not. It doesn't have the following that the other sports do. So, you can get upset about it, but only to a point. Like, listen, you could see if, they were just sitting the whole time just bashing the organization, but it's not something that was happening. So it's like, let it go.
Right.
Let it go, people.
Right. Like, oh, I've been here.
We love y'all, but come on, let it go.
Right. Like, oh, you're just jumping on the bandwagon now, so.
Man, don't let me break out my Eric Lindros jersey. That's about 2 sizes too small for me, all right? Stop it.
Also, we got the Philly spring training game on in the studio as well. So, there's that. We'll see. But moving on to another
Sixers talk.
little Sixers talk.
Little Sixers talk. All right.
Some people are more excited about the team than others. Tommy's obviously excited about it. I know some fans are still excited. Expect them to make a deep playoff run,
not
but
to
we'll
sit there and
see.
say there's not to be excited about, but a lot of us are starting to see this writing on the wall that we've seen the last, three seasons or so with the way how this team plays. Listen, man, you're in a rough spot with the injuries. You got JR out, Joel's out, Ben's out. It's in a rough spot, And the other side of it, you guys like your young rookies are able to get time on the court and see what you can get out of them, where you wouldn't have these opportunities when you had these stars in there.
Right.
Now they have these opportunities to get minutes. Your coaches can see how they're going to react in these situations and stuff like that. So, I know we're in a rough spot. We're not where we are. Listen, dumb down the expectations a little bit. Let's come back down to earth. They overachieve when they get to the playoffs from where we are right now. Awesome.
Like, they'll still get to the playoffs, but it just depends on how far they'll go.
There's no way they're not going to make the playoffs. Like, as bad
there's
as
no
they're
way.
playing, man,
Right.
come on. That's just taking a real dagger to them. But,
Yeah.
I mean, listen, we're going to get Joe back soon. Let him start to get back into his flow. Hopefully, we can get Ben back right as the playoffs begin or as the first series goes.
That's how I see it, especially when you're talking
But
about
I
a
might
nerve
even
issue.
hold him at the first handful games in that playoff series.
It
just
depends
to
on who
kinda
you're
give
playing,
him
though,
a
too,
chance
though.
because of the type of injury that back injury. The slightest thing you rush that back and then boom, he's out. He's out for the entire playoffs.
Right.
You need him for that playoff run. You absolutely listen. As much as you may say Ben's not this. Listen, he is a spark plug in that team.
Yeah.
Period. So. Be careful getting him back. The same thing that you're gonna do with Joe. Tell Joe I don't want to see you hitting the boards as crazy. Let's get that shoulder back right and let's get you ready for this run, man.
Yeah, no,
absolutely. We need both of our big guys to perform and be ready for the playoffs.
Right.
If they don't, then there should be a blow up.
Yeah. No. Well, it depends
No,
on what you
meaning
mean
like
by.
seriously. Like listen, I love this team. But if they do not make something, even if you have like a weird situation like what happened at the end of the last season, where you have the freaking dink, and we freaking lose the freaking game to the
right.
freaking Raptors. It's,
the four
it's
bounce
like
in the
time
rim, yeah.
almost stopped for that period of time. It's like, did we just watch that?
Right.
It's rough. So like we've as Philadelphia fans been through this. Listen, just let them play. See how it goes, and then go from there, man. Like, listen, I get it. We wanted a championship. As of the way it looks right now, we're just talking with this man over here. It's the Lakers to win now.
I think
It
so.
is absolutely the Lakers to win. If they don't win it, it is an absolute failure on LeBron James'
You're just going to keep stroking his ego, aren't you?
How am I Tell me I'm wrong.
I mean, the Clippers are pretty
the
good.
Warriors are gone.
Okay.
The Rockets are dead in the
That's
water.
fine.
They can beat the Clippers in a 7-game series. They will beat them in 6. They will beat them in 6, and I'll place bets
with a
on
healthy Kawhi Leonard and Paul George?
Yes.
No.
Are you crazy?
No way.
Are you crazy?
I can't see
hate,
it.
Listen, I hate the Lakers.
Right.
It hurts me to say this. Take the blinders off for our hate for them for a second.
I'm not.
Okay, but you've seen how they played 1-1. That the Lakers will beat them. They're matched up better. Now, if you get amazing performances out of both of your Clipper superstars, then maybe we could talk about it going a different way. But as they are all playing right now, as they match up right now, this is the way I see it. They have a clear path to the NBA title.
Oh, they have a clear path, but
And
as soon as they get over that hurdle against the Clippers, then I'll believe it.
Now the Lakers know what they can do to Giannis.
Yeah.
So the only team that is matched up better to stop them is us. So unless we can find our way out of our own way right now to get there,
I don't.
tell me someone who's going to beat them.
Like I said, the only team
Lakers
that I
got it
can
right now.
that I can see is the Clippers. That's the only team.
I said it to him off the air. LeBron James' legacy determines on this season. If he does not win the championship, you're going to have that cloud of him. But if he wins it, there's no more arguments.
Oh, God, don't do that to me.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
Who do we have over there?
You're gonna have.
Who do we have hanging over there?
You're gonna have to put LBJ next to him.
Oh my
You're
God!
gonna have to. You're gonna have to, man. I mean, I'd rather put Kobe next to him, but I mean,
Well, we have a Kobe,
Kobe
jersey somewhere in the studio, but we'll get that Kobe jersey up at some point. We have it in the studio, but it just depends on where it is and if we can get it.
I just ordered mine too.
Yeah, so
I just had to go get.
Yeah, but again, I
wanted
just,
the 8, man. I had to have the 8. Everyone was running around the 24s.
Yeah, I'm not mad at you for that. I want to try and get his Lower Marion jersey, but we'll see.
I can get it for you.
All right.
Let me know. I got the hookup.
All right, cool. But no, my only thing is it's just I need to see the Lakers beat the Clippers. If they can do it with a healthy Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and just that whole entire Clippers team, as soon as they get over that hurdle, then I'll completely agree with you and say they're going to win the NBA championship.
I'm not there yet. I think they have the matchup advantage, but like I said, man, LeBron James it's his for the taking. If he really wants the crown and be called the king, do the damn thing, man.
See, it's just tough for me to go. Now, obviously, LeBron's definitely if he wins another championship and another MVP, you can definitely make the argument he's right there with Jordan. My only thing is with Jordan, he's never lost in the NBA Finals. That's big.
See, I don't want to put that up because LeBron James took garbage teams against teams that were built to win.
No, that's fair. That's fair
so,
too.
like, when you sit there and say he lost, as much as I want to use that against him, I can't. I can't, man.
Yeah.
But like I will put the Dallas series on him.
Okay.
That Dallas series that I'd listen. He should have won that.
But
nothing over there, right?
Yeah, but again, if you really want to like have like a good back and forth about it, it's different eras too. It's a different time period, more physical basketball when Jordan was playing.
But LeBron would have murdered some of them boys in the 80s, man. Stop it.
I don't know.
Stop it.
I don't know.
Stop it. He's too big. Stop it.
He's big. No, I agree, but I just
it's a different age, but come on. I know you want to say something. He's like, nope, I'm good. You got it, Steve. What about you, Timmy? What do you think about this, man? You know, regardless of the Sixers stuff and all that, you know, we're weighing in on this one. Listen, if LeBron does the damn thing this year, do we have to remove the G from the Jordan?
Absolutely.
Really?
Oh,
absolutely.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts.
Wow.
I mean, dude, it hurts because I grew up I remember watching them championships on ESPN. I remember watching Chicago destroy that city after they won that first title. It was on ESPN. I remember it vividly. So it's rough, but you can't as much as you want to not like LeBron for this or that or getting involved. Listen, man, look at the body of work. Look what he's doing.
No, you're right.
If he does it, it'll be 3 different teams.
Yeah.
In 2 different conferences.
Yeah,
So you can't sit there and say it was the easier he's facing all that. Everyone say, "Oh, you're in the East, it's weak." All right, he's the number 1 seed in the West with a healthy team that basically like, look, man, he's doing what he's supposed to do. If he does what he's supposed to do in the playoffs and the finals, we have to give it up to him. As much as I hate it.
Now, it just my thing with the Lakers is too. It just depends for me personally because the whole situation with AD next year. Whether he resigns or
if you're LeBron James, what does it matter? Your legacy is
no, I get that, but if you want to keep winning
I'm the Lakers,
championships,
I should have took care of that before the season ended. As soon as you seen what those two were together, like we need to get the 7-year contract. I don't care, lifetime. Let's do it. He's your starter you got for that team for the next foreseeable future. You couldn't think LeBron James going to be playing more than 2 more years.
Well, Let's
be honest.
Well, he said he wants to play with his son, so that's another 4, maybe 5, 3 or 4 years. So, I think he can still do it. He's playing at a high level. He's playing at an MVP level still, so I don't see why not.
Unless he could start to take in a lesser role to being able to do that, then I can't see him doing that.
Right.
But I don't think LeBron has the ego that people might think, and I think he might do that just so he can accomplish that.
As far as
if he wins the championship this year, I could see him kind of like just sitting back, maybe.
Oh yeah.
You know what? It's time to relax a little bit.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's earned that too. So
yeah, obviously,
deservedly so. He can definitely do that.
17 years in there? Come on.
It's almost Isn't that crazy? 17 years.
Not a lot of players can do that. That's why I said that's why he's talked about in the likeness that he is.
No, and that's fair, and he's been doing it at a high level for this long.
But.
But going back on the Sixers point, if we're talking obviously I don't think they're going to get home court advantage in the playoffs.
No,
they're the best team hands down in the NBA. Well, they are the best
The
team.
way it's looking like,
at home,
like you're
but-
going to have to go to Toronto, and that's rough, man.
Well, here's my thing, and obviously they talked about it in Italy how they're shutting down or not shutting down the stadiums, but they're not allowing fans to come in while Juventus plays their games.
See,
So-
that's where I know where you're going with this, and that could actually play into
and
the
that's
Sixers
what I'm
games.
saying. So basically, what I'm getting at is with the whole coronavirus fiasco, you can make with it whatever you want to. Just wash your hands, please. Just wash your hands. It's not that hard. Just wash your hands. You'll be fine. But my big thing is like whether they're blowing it out of proportion or not, whatever. The athletic commissions will do whatever they want.
If the Sixers got to go up to Toronto and play in empty stadiums, the Toronto Raptors should be very upset.
Oh, I
afraid.
completely
And
agree.
be
But I'm
very
saying,
afraid too, 'cause
especially with March Madness coming, because you're starting to have these conversations. Like it's starting to bleed over into the states where you're having these conversations,
Yeah.
and you get to the playoffs where the Sixers are the best team at home. When you don't have the fans like roaring at you, being all excited or whatever, it's a different energy. It just changes
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So does that? And me personally, I just think that kills the Sixers' momentum in the playoffs, and probably any team in the playoffs.
it's gonna be It's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out because it's if you do that, some of these home teams won't really have these advantages that they're used to.
Mm-hmm.
March Madness, I think it'll be a totally different animal if you see it without.
Wow.
And but not only that really messes with the NCAA way more than you
Oh,
think.
it kills
'cause
their
that's
pockets.
their bread and butter more than football or any other thing.
That's
That's where they kill it.
It's where your avid gamblers make money. It's where everybody
so
makes money.
It's rough, man. It's going to do a lot of damage on this college basketball betting, just sports in general in North America if it continues to go the way it is.
Well, I'll do a little segue into our next segment then, talking about UFC 248.
Well, no, I mean, even hey, bro, you're working out in gyms and doing all this, training, doing all that. Doesn't that bother you a little bit? Like knowing this is all going on, you're starting to see the stuff's coming over to the States. Like, are you starting to get weirded out by it?
Here's the thing. So I'm on social media all the time. So like, here's the thing with me. I'm starting to believe this Corona, whatever the hell it is all a distraction from something. This is just.
I don't
weird,
disagree
honestly,
with that per se.
Because like I don't know, I haven't been really keeping track with it. But let's say it's the disease virus is in Brazil, now it's in Jersey. Like within 2 days or something. I don't know.
People
I
get
keep myself clean. You know what I'm saying?
I
wash
mean,
my
I
hands
keep myself
after
clean, but I just think it's
everything.
funny.
That's
These
all I
weird
care about.
viruses only pop up
Right.
every 4 years.
Right.
It's kind of
I
strange. I don't know.
I saw like a
Might be
link.
a little
I saw a link.
correlation to that.
It's in like Texas or something, and then like 2 days later it's in Jersey. Get the hell outta here.
Those airplanes. It's those airplanes, man. That's what it is. I was on, what do you call it? I was on just looking at plane tickets, see if the prices dropped. Dude, a flight to Hawaii now is just $300. That's not bad for a flight to Hawaii. I might take a vacation for a week. Come and think of it. You know what I'm saying?
Get some time in the sand and sun. Let's do it.
Yeah. So just going to what we touched on with Timmy earlier. Now, are you starting to see it in your gyms when you're working out? Are they starting to mention the coronavirus being like, you have to be more clean?
Not really. I mean, we're all grown men. We should know to wash our hands after we like eat or use the bathroom or something. But hey, we're in there just focusing on training.
Right.
Just break out the George Carlin line, man. Just make sure you clean all the necessities, my man.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So if you have good hygiene, you should be all right.
Armpits, asshole, mouth, and
that's
teeth.
no
Come on,
good.
let's go.
But again, so getting into UFC 248, obviously, big fight night tonight.
I love it, man.
So-
This is. How can you not be excited for this, man? Izzy's a true champion. Because he literally called out and said, "You know what? If I do not beat this guy, I'm not the man." And Yoel Romero is an absolute
I
freaking
love Yoel
nightmare. He is a
Hey,
freaking
check this out.
freaking
The
locomotive
main thing-
who will run right through you.
The main thing I paid attention to was Yoel made weight.
Yeah.
So,
Easily.
I
I mean, granted, he
So-
went down to nothing, but
Right.
easily. Normally, he looks bad.
Usually he's like
So
2 pounds
I mean,
over.
I
and
expect
drained,
I expect 5 minutes of freaking fury, man.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we're going to see what happens for the next 25. But the first 5 minutes should be amazing. Izzy is just a man among men anymore, and already was. If he can do the damn thing to Yoel Romero, I think there is no question. He at least in the modern realm, the newest kind of Anderson Silva was the guy for the longest time, and it's kind of had placeholders here and there since then. Chris Weidman, all these other guys. Y'all is able to not do his thing, and Izzy nails it down. You have to sit there and say that he's probably the biggest superstar in the UFC in those upper weight classes. Because a lot of people have questions around John Jones or whatever like that. Izzy has that other side where John doesn't, where he connects with the fans on another
like a
level.
personal level, yeah.
From 170
John
up,
doesn't have that personality about him. He's a lot of people hate him for that. He has people watching more because they don't like him, versus because they cheer for him. Izzy, kind of got himself into some rough waters with that 9/11. He kind of got himself into some rough waters with that 9/11 comment, but either way, man, it's just one of the things that he has this thing about him where he gets it. So if I'm the UFC, I would have not preferred him take this match because you might kill a star with someone who's only probably going to be around for a few more years or a handful more fights. So it's dangerous, but. This is it, man. Like if you're a fan of these upper weight classes, this is the type of matchups that you want. Especially when you have a champion calling out the most dangerous man in his weight class.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't happen.
Who is the top 5 in middleweight right now? I don't even.
That division's changed so much.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
I think it's
because I know Yoel's 3. I know that.
Who's number 1? Robert Whitaker.
That's it.
All right,
Whitaker's.
Yeah, but we don't know what's going on with Whit, man. Like when you give bone marrow to save your daughter's life, it takes
a lot out of you.
To that, man. It's gonna take him a while. Like even if it takes him a few years, I would still like to see him and Izzy run that again.
You think?
Yeah, dude, come on. With all that stuff that was going on, and he was coming off multiple injuries.
Yeah,
Whitaker looked terrible in there. He
like
really,
as much as I would
impressive.
want to sit there and say that was all Izzy, anyone who has 2 eyes have been watching the sport long enough, that wasn't Robert Whitaker.
Right.
It wasn't. And then knowing everything else that was going on, the medical stuff with his daughter, the medical stuff with him.
Right.
I want to see him running back when he gets back in there and gets healthy. I do.
Okay.
You owe Whit that because everyone knows he took that fight because he was either going to be stripped and he also needed the money to do what he had to do. As much as we would like to think the UFC is this great organization, they're not going to take care of this kid's doctor's bills.
Right.
They're not.
No, you're right.
You have these rare situations where some of these guys that you heard Dana White do this or that for some of these guys, but they only do that for a handful of people.
Right.
They have 5% of people that they look at out of 100% of a roster. So we got to see what happens, man. I really hope everything's best, for Whit and his fame. Yeah. But man, that division has a lot of young guys that are coming up, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Like,
Can't
see the
forget
thing
about
about it is
Costa
you eventually
in
get these guys because they bounce around from weight class to weight class. So you think they're going to be at 85 and they bump up to 205, like with Anthony Smith.
Right.
He was at 85 forever,
right.
but then as soon as he got up to 205, he just started smashing through some of the top guys, top names in that division. That's why he is where he is right now. I cannot wait to see his next fight. It's gonna be another freaking knockout, dragout one.
I think Anthony has a scheduled fight.
He fights in like 2 weeks, doesn't he?
I believe so.
Something like that.
I'm not sure who he fights.
I think it was like the end of the. I think it was like the weekend before the end of the month. I think.
Okay. So let's do a little 248 card breakdown real quick. So obviously the Derek Brunson fight got canceled. What do you know the reason why that one got canceled or?
I didn't hear anything about it, but if it's you have a fight canceled this close to it, it's medical and it's probably because he just cut that weight cut too short, man. When Derek Brunson probably walks around about 220 pounds.
Yeah, something like that.
He's a big dude.
He's a big kid, man. So like if with everything going on, like if you can't cut the way you're supposed to, if you're sick or whatever, it changes everything, man. Ask these guys, man. It is not an easy thing. You have to maintain it through while you're off.
Right.
Then gradually come down as you're going through the camp, so you don't have to sit there and cut this massive amount of weight.
Well,
and what happens is some of these guys, they wind up having injuries and they try to cut it back at the end, just do a rough cut at the end,
right?
And it takes their toll on them. And a lot of and here's the other thing: think about it before all like you see these fights, they're getting called off at the last minute. He knows this for a fact. That stuff never used to happen 5 years ago. Those guys were sending them cage and they were getting beat up a lot.
Right.
When you cut your water down, like listen, you know, there's a delicate sense when it comes to this. When you're a professional fighter at that level, and you throw that
weight
water
up
off,
and down, yeah.
if you don't replenish the right way, there's so many things that get you sick before you get into that cage after you make those weight cuts. So those are probably one of the bigger things that you see why fights get canceled.
Yeah.
After weigh-ins.
When I was in Connecticut, their commissioner said I think his percentage was about 95% of the fighters that fight at their walk-around weight have a longer career than the guys who kill themselves to
try
make
and
a weight.
no, absolutely.
I remember talking to I forget who I was talking to, Steve Carl.
Okay.
I was interviewing him one time, and he told me that he cut 23 pounds in less than 12 hours.
That's crazy.
I've done that 20 pounds in 3 days.
I mean, dude, and I guarantee you, you were probably off for a few
terrible.
days.
Yeah.
Because listen, even your brain, it sits on a very specific amount of water.
Right.
You throw that off, man, you get knocked out quicker, whatever.
Yeah.
It's
Look
a real
at,
thing, man.
TJ Dillashaw and
Right.
Henry Cejudo. Perfect example. What 30 seconds?
Yeah, something like that. But I think for a lot of like casual MMA fans, I know I watched the video a couple years ago. When you watch that video of Cyborg trying to cut weight, just everything she went through,
she's
and
bawling her eyes out. And
right.
screaming.
All because they wouldn't make a freaking weight class for her because Dana White wanted.
Dana still doesn't want to make a 165.
Which is crazy.
It's a huge gap from 155 to 170.
Oh yeah.
There's definitely should be
there should be a weight class between 55 and 70. And there should be a weight class between 205 and heavyweight. There should be a cruiserweight there. And
what about middleweight and light heavyweight? Middleweight and light heavyweight. That's 185 to 205.
Yeah, but you see a lot of guys, they normally just take the bounce from middleweight to either light heavy. That gap between light heavy and heavy is just too gray. 205 to 265, there has to be something there, like 225, 230, something like that.
Now, I think some people call that cruiserweight.
Yeah, that's why I said
cruiserweight. Now, getting to the comments real quick. Brought to you by Ambuck Services. If you have any outdoor work you need to get done, gutters clean, deck done, all outdoor stuff, tell Ambuck Services A2D sent you. Get yourself 10% off. Kevin Godwin. What's up, Kev? What's your guys' thoughts on Sean Brady's fight from last week?
Yeah, I was already sitting there saying something. Man, I love this kid. Sean Brady's one of these guys I had the pleasure of being around. You know, my kids were fortunate to train down at Renzo Gracie Philly and was able to run into Sean and Paul down there a lot. And this guy is a brick shithouse for a reason, man. He used to throw Paul and some of the other heavyweights around that gym like they were rag dolls. This guy that he fought last weekend was supposedly a good wrestler. Yeah, what happened?
Right.
Oh yeah, he got ragdolled for the better part of 15 minutes, and that's what Sean does to people. And not a lot of people know that this kid he's done nothing but the last few years but work on his striking.
Right.
And you're starting to see the fruits of that labor.
Just the accuracy and everything.
If he
like
starts
that.
to put a few more
Sean
tools
will
in
walk
that tool
around.
belt, I said it
Sean will
before.
walk across the mat with a big heavyweight on his back like it's nothing. Just tank. He's a tank.
It's just that strength.
Yeah.
Dude, when we talk about the future stars, I feel that kid is going to be a UFC championship.
He said he wants his next fight to be a top 15 guy. So
Top 15,
two
okay.
fights in, he's calling out
But
top
yeah,
15
but
guys.
how slow would that development took it along? They were trying to rush him for so. Remember how fast Cage Fury was trying to rush him because how they knew what he was.
Yep.
And he was smart enough to just stay the course, stay the
Defend
course.
his belt a little more.
So a lot of these guys, where you'll see them get in the UFC, they're 5-0. Sean waited till he almost had 10 fights.
Okay.
How many guys do that?
Right.
Almost none.
Right.
They just want that. Like, listen,
I think
this kid is not just game smart as far as in the cage, but business smart as knowing when to take his chances.
Mm-hmm.
This has been coming for 2 years. Everyone who's been in this area, who's been around these guys, Timmy knows this guy is going to be the UFC welterweight champion, and at some point in time within the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give it 5 years.
Because I mean, you got to think he's probably let's just say he's 20th,
Right.
just for argument's sake. It'll take him about 2 years to get up into the top 5.
Okay.
And I hope I've always been I hope he gets one of those terrible decisions that's a close fight and he winds up winning. Because I say it time and time again, these fighters who go undefeated need to feel the sting of defeat early on in their UFC career, because then they become the I'm not saying Sean's going to be that guy, but historically it happens to these guys. And what happens when they lose?
Right.
Ronda Rousey, what happened to her? She mentally couldn't prepare for it.
Right.
But anyone who paid attention to Ronda's career knew that was going to happen. Anyone who knew when she lost, I think it was before she got her medal in the Olympics, she lost in qualifying the year before and disappeared for 2 years.
Right.
Her mother, finally 2 years, her mother found her, brought her back, and then she got back in the judo and won the medal.
Right.
But when she lost, it's sometimes some people can take it. As fighters, have that mental capacity, they could just move on and just kind of clear that out. And some people hold on to it.
Right.
I've seen this guy take L's, and he's back in the gym the next day looking for another fight.
Yeah.
Some guys have it. Some women
guys
have
don't,
it.
right.
Some just flat out don't.
With me, especially when it comes to just sports and fighters in general, it's all about how you respond. As far as like losses and stuff like that, I consider that for a lot of people, especially just playing sports my whole life.
Become
it's a learning experience.
arrogant in their own game set where they can't learn from anything.
Right.
Or they can't take outward criticism. Just the fighters are the most sensitive people on this planet sometimes, man. But it's all how about how it's said and how it's done.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you do it in a way to try to tear them down, you ain't gonna get the response you want.
Yeah. No.
So
let's get to the card breakdown real quick.
man, let's talk
Alex
about this
Oliveira
co-main.
versus Max Griffin.
My boy Max Payne, man, he's gonna do the dance. He's that's who I want to see Sean go up against. Somebody like Max.
Yeah.
Because he's just so diverse, and he's one of these guys that is starting to push that realm too, where Max has fought in Kobe Covington and all these guys. He knows what it's like to fight. Been in there with some of these elite guys, so it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out and who he gets matched up with. But I like him in this fight. I
do too. Tim, what do you have for Max Griffin versus
I'm
Alex
gonna go
Oliveira?
with Max because Steve really likes him. So.
Oh man, come on, can't just go because I like him. Don't just agree with me. We're called agree to disagree for a reason.
I'll take it. Next welterweight fight: Neil Magny versus Li Jinlang.
I haven't heard of Neil in a.
Neil's the
bit,
Captain
yeah.
Cardio, man.
I haven't heard
he's
of
the
Neil in a
Energizer
while.
Bunny in that weight class. That's another one of these guys. We're talking about guys in that weight class. We were just talking about Sean Brady. These names that you're mentioning right here. These are guys who I want to see him in there with over the next few years to see who he is. Neil Magny, a guy trains up in Colorado. He has cardio for days. He has a great ground game. He's not one of these guys you're just going to put him on his back and do what you want with him.
Right.
The thing is, it's when Neil gets overconfident with his striking, he winds up putting himself in these bad situations with guys who are dangerous. It typically winds up on the wrong end of some of them things. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm another one. Go with the tough alum there, and Mr. Magny gets another victory.
Yeah, and for people at home, Magny's coming in with a 8.5 reach advantage. So,
but see, those are the ones that gets him in trouble because he starts getting into that he can just strike with these guys, man.
Right.
MMA is MMA for a reason. You start seeing if you can pull your range in, and you start mixing things up, and you start seeing what works, man.
No, you're right. Light heavyweight, Benelli Dorish versus Del Rouge. Sorry. Against Jakar Close. Light heavyweight.
Oh, man. Dakar is an animal. But so is De La Rouge, man. I love both of these guys.
I'm
and
going
this light
Delarouche.
heavyweight division is nuts.
Yeah, I'm going Delarouche.
But I'm going with the card, man.
Really?
I'm
Okay.
gonna go with the upset here.
Okay. That's fine.
What do you got? One? You got Benny, or you got the card, brother?
I don't know who these guys are. So,
Come on, Timmy.
that's the thing.
We're
So
on the top of the chain here.
I literally only pay attention to like who's on the main card.
The main card.
Like,
Okay.
But it is the
like,
main card. This is right before the co-main, brother. Come on.
I don't know who those guys are.
Timmy.
We'll break down the main event in more detail then.
Hey, co-main event, main event. Yeah.
Willie Zhang versus Joanna.
No, but my boy Brian Torres, he literally reads. He knows every fighter from
Top to bottom.
Like Brian knows my freaking the ref that ref my first amateur fight. Like, hey Brian, who's my ref for my first fight? Psh, Chris Coyne. Oh, shit.
Nah, but this one is the one, man. We were talking about it before we got on. Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Zhang, man.
I got Zhang.
So do I.
Yeah, so do I.
Joanna's
Pretty
still trying to
unanimous.
play this freaking mind game with these fighters and thinking they're going to crack. What happened when you try to do that with Rose? Oh, that's right. She freaking set your
Knocked
ass
you
back
out.
into reality.
Knocked
And
your
she
ass
still
out.
hasn't changed these tactics. Like, we've been
It
looking at
worked
these
her-
fighters have been
beginning of
looking
her
at it. They
career
already
worked.
know what's going to happen. If you
Right.
don't go into the bait, they don't take the bait, and guess what? You wind up losing these fights.
Right.
So like she's sitting there at the stare downs before the weigh and running her mouth there, and she's just saying, "What? Shut up, shut
Yeah.
up." Listen, man, this girl's a monster. She freaking, Andrade took the belt from Rose, and
Right.
not only did she take the belt, like she dismantled Andrade. And at that point in time, everyone thought that Andrade was about to go on a run like what Joanna did when she won the
I
belt.
don't think she's gonna stand with Joanna.
You don't think?
I was watching Embedded, and she's like, basically, she said, the stronger fighter. She's never been like really tested on the ground. That's what she basically
Yeah,
said.
but sometimes you know how that goes. You play that card to
And
try to see if
Joanna's
you can get them to
definitely
play a
the
hand.
Taller fighter, longer reach. I'm a wrestler, so I don't think she's gonna. I want to see her.
I mean, if you're looking at it too, because the like her Muay Thai boxing background, you would want to take away those leg kicks away from her. So if you put her on her back more often, then yeah, of course you would. And Joanna sitting there saying she's gonna
Wrestlers.
knock her out, man. Come on, please.
Grapplers.
When is
wrestlers are
Joanna?
taking
Joanna
over.
stops people with volume punches. She has never.
Right.
Has she actually knocked anyone out? Like out?
No.
I don't recall. Like I don't think she just stopped girls.
Yeah. She just
Like when you beat Esparza, she just put her up against the cage and just hit her with a flurry of shots, and the ref stopped because she was just covering up, wasn't really defending herself. So like knocking her out was just kind of the wrong thing. I mean, if you want to stop her, sure, but I don't think she's gonna knock her out.
Now Kevin also says in the comments, Sean Brady versus Pettis? Question mark.
I don't have a problem with that. That's a fun fight.
I'm not against it.
No, you might be concerned with how some of that goes, but I think that's a win for Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Pettis isn't the fighter that he was 2 years ago, or let alone 5 years ago. So he doesn't have the cardio that Sean has. Sean's wrestling is 3 times of what his defense is, at least in my opinion. And Anthony and Pettis is one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Henderson is one of the better wrestlers, and Anthony did his job against him.
Yeah.
But
Twice.
Listen, he's like Sean's a different level when it comes to that, man. Like that's not just like he has good wrestling. Like he's just so fast on his feet. He moves like he's a bantamweight dude, and that's why why people are so high on him.
Right.
It's his footwork, his his quickness is just going to be too much. But I do like that matchup, and it's a fun test. It's a name.
Yeah.
It's a name. It's someone he can get matched up with right now, where he can get right into a camp.
Mm-hmm. So now getting into the main event, like we talked about earlier, Israel Adesanya versus Joel Romero.
I'm going Izzy, man.
I am too.
Third round stoppage. I think he gets.
You're thinking it
he
goes that
gets
far?
Joel in the he's gonna get him in the later rounds.
Okay.
Listen, man, Izzy has this way of pushing people, and Joel has spots in his gas tank where you can't let off the gas with Izzy.
Right.
And he's going to get in one of those spots and think he's going to be able to let off the gas. He's not going to be in there with Tim Kennedy.
Right.
He's not going to be in he's going to be in there with a guy who's looking to freaking take his head off.
Yeah.
And I think Izzy might be able to get it done. If he doesn't get him the stop, it's just going to be one of those things where maybe he gets him in a position where he's so far up he just takes it off.
I got Joel. It's third round.
Oh,
okay.
I got
Timmy's going a new champion.
Yep. Yeah.
I like it.
My thing is he had trouble with Kelvin Gastelum.
Okay. No, that's fair.
Kelvin Gastelum's a freaking tank too.
And Joel is much powerful.
It's two different body types. Yeah, it's two different body types.
Yeah.
So you have to factor that in.
We'll see. We'll
It's
see if
going to be really interesting.
If Izzy can stop the tank this weekend, we'll find out. We'll find
Izzy
out.
had trouble with old ass Anderson Silva too. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like.
We'll see how it plays out, man.
This fight I'm actually very excited for, though.
Yeah,
I'm very excited.
Both of the champions on this one should both produce fun matchups, fun fights.
Right. So obviously, got a special guest in the studio.
About time we get to it, right?
About time to get to it. You want to start?
Yeah, man. Like, listen. For people that don't know, I used to run a podcast, and Timmy was one of these guys I used to love running into on the local scene. Just had another big win this weekend. I know I've been away for a while. Me and Timmy have been able to catch up, so now it's about that time. So, brother, man, how we been?
I've been really good. I found a home gym, and I'm comfortable, and I'm looking to keep things going.
Yeah, because that was kind of the thing. You were always bounced from gym
that was my
to
biggest
gym
thing.
to team.
I didn't
really have a home.
A team, a home. I didn't have any teammates. I was just going in there with my natural wrestling abilities. And
how many times we used to argue about that? Yeah. Timmy, would you stop taking these fights, bro?
Right.
Just 3 days ago.
They called me. Justin Haskell actually told me I should start my own TV series. Wednesday night fights with Timmy Tyler.
Haskell, I love that dude.
I was always fighting. If someone needed a fill-in, they would call me. Jump in there.
But see, and that's all good. But like at the same time, like you also have to like remember from the other side of it. I know you're doing it experience, and you don't want to disappoint people and let people down. But at the same time, like then think of the other side of where it also hurts you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So I fought about maybe 3 or 4 fights with injuries. And that's something I kept to myself. But I just didn't want to. I didn't want to let the promoter down, like you said. They hit me up. I felt like I had to go out there and do it, even if I was busted up. So, but I got out there and did it.
You don't owe listen, dude. We talked about this before, man. You don't owe these guys nothing. The only thing you owe is yourself and the people who really love you. At the end of the day, the promoters will always be there. There'll always be another promoter. There'll always be another fight. There'll always be another card. Don't take these fights just to freaking just to make a paycheck to make them happy.
Well, now my mindset is I missed the whole year for something that I had no control over, and we're gonna talk about that.
Okay.
And right now, I told my coach, I'm like, as long as I'm healthy and I'm in the gym, I want to fight. So I'm gonna keep this thing going. So
let's touch on that. Like this last fight, you had to go out of the state, go up in Connecticut,
Massachusetts.
Right? You went up in Mass, right up in that
Patriots
area.
Nation. Oh man, you guys should have seen me. I was disrespecting Tom Brady all down the streets.
That's a good one.
No,
we
I'm
have
kidding.
to do
I'm
that,
kidding. Nah, I was too afraid. Let me say something about Tom Brady. The whole city would
come after you. Yeah.
Oh, who cares, man? Who cares? At that point in time, it's definitely well worth it, man. I mean. One thing, like, listen, Boston fans, they like to sit there and run their mouth and gloat about Tom Brady and this, that, and
their
championships, Boston and whatever, Bruins and all. Right. I get it. You guys have some great lineage.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time y'all did anything outside of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a couple years.
Come on, man, guys.
Aside from the Patriots, yeah, it's been a couple years.
I don't want to hear it. The Tom Brady era is just about over. We're gonna, within the next few years.
Quick question: What do you guys think Tom Brady's he's staying or he's going? What do you think?
Wow.
It's up to the hoodie.
It's up to the
hoodie. Let's be honest.
Apparently earlier this week they said they had a phone conversation and it did not go over well. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things where you just using it as an example, like where you've been with someone for so long, and it's just one of those relationships. Now, could it down the road be fixed and salvageable with him and Bill?
Yeah,
I think so, but I think it's also just that time too.
It looks like they're on fractured ice, man.
Yeah, I think it's also that time. But at the same, I just can't. Just mentally, I can't picture him in another uniform.
Yeah,
I really can't. But what I can see happen is, and this is just a shot in the dark, but I just have a theory. remember a couple years ago when Bill Belichick wanted to get rid of Tom Brady and keep Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, and then Kraft
said, yeah.
Yeah, but I think they're at the point now where you already did it once. You do it to him again, you're going to lose the coach.
I get that, but at the same time, so what I could see happening, and I don't think it will happen.
He needs to give the coach a goober. All right, I'll let you keep Brady, but you need to let me go get my guy now because we're not playing this game.
Yeah, I can see that happening too. But what I think what can happen, they re-sign Brady to like a 2-3 year deal, whatever. Give John Lynch a call over in San Francisco. Because think about it, they're not that. They're right there.
Why are we
They're right
this?
there. The Niners are right there. I'm just saying, they're right there.
Oh man.
Well,
I get it.
Think about how different
No,
that Super Bowl might have been if they had Tom Brady.
That franchise and all that, and that was the way it was supposed to be. Yeah, they're not swapping quarterbacks. There's no way that's going to happen. You know, I mean, I know we like to kind of like come up with these
theories and
so,
whatever.
Oh man, that I just don't see that happening. As much as they all love each other and all, but no. But yeah, no.
Where do you see Tom Brady going?
I see him still in New England.
Yeah.
I just want him to stay. I just want them to go 0-16. Just one.
Can you
one
tell
year,
his disdain for Boston?
Just that
wrong
would be
with that.
perfect. Just Tom Brady's perfect send off. You know, just going 0-16. Just get out of here.
But now we're getting into it, right? You had to fight back here in Philly. Or are we going to have you back here? Because obviously you said you haven't been able. Things out of your control. It's been a year.
With the athletic commission and whatever.
So do we have to start banging on the door and tell them to give you your license back? Is that what's going to have to happen?
I talked to Serb actually on the phone about 2 days ago, and the conversation we had a pretty good conversation. He just wanted the updates from last Saturday, and I got a first round finish, so we should be good. I am fighting April 11th in Chambersburg, PA. I just signed the contract last night.
Awesome.
So
That's who?
Against Christian Torres. He's from New York.
Okay. There you go.
So he hasn't fought in about
there you go.
4
Fight
years.
announcement, people. Fight announcement.
Yeah. There you go.
Fight announcement. April 11th, I'm back in there. 170 pounds, welterweight. I'm undefeated at welterweight since my amateur career. My first win at welterweight.
We talked about
was,
170, man. I told you you're a monster up there, brother.
Yeah, my first win at 170. It was against Ed Shoop for my first belt. And then as a pro, I'm 2-0. With 2 first-round finishes at welterweight, so I feel really good at welterweight.
I was going to say, is that your comfortable weight where you're at right now?
Yeah. See, that's where I think he puts it all together. Like he's not cutting himself down too much, and not only that, like listen, like when you cut yourself down, you deplete and take things from yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right. And he literally was just talking about it. We were talking about fighting around your natural weight. That's more where he should fight at. Mm-hmm. And listen, we were talking about it before, and I remember Tyson Fury was talking about putting on weight for power. Man, you if you watch any of that last fight, you see what I mean. Like as soon as he got the takedown and got in that position through that first elbow, that dude was like, "Oh, where am I?"
Right.
Like, "Oh, I don't want no more of them. I don't want no more of them."
He immediately gave me his back.
Oh, really?
I just feel really
when
good.
they do that, they don't want the smoke, bro.
Yeah, right.
They don't want the smoke, bro.
Right. And my first one, it was a 36-second finish. I touched him and he just went down.
Really?
So 170 is definitely. And
where
my
you
coach,
feel comfortable.
Yeah, my coach, he's a flyweight, and he looked at me. He's like, "You shouldn't be fighting at 55, man.
You're a natural 170.
170 is for
But
you."
it's also another thing, like you got to remember, he's still fairly young guy. So like as you get older, your body changes, and not only that, you're like your natural.
Yeah.
So I would look at him like he's crazy because I'm looking at myself and I'm looking at Tyra, and I'm like, hell no, I'm not gonna be a welterweight. But like Steve just said, I'm still young, so I'm still getting there. So.
He hasn't gotten his man body yet.
Right. So how old are you now?
I am 22. I'm turning 23.
Oh, okay.
See what I mean?
You're a baby.
He's a pup, man. You know what I mean? You never know. He still might go up to 85 before he's done.
Yeah, he could once he's done filling out.
And I'm pretty tall too for the weight. So, but the last fight camp, I was lifting pretty good amount, about 4 times a week, and it paid off. Almost put the guy's head through the ground. One out, the first elbow, I split him, and I saw it in his eyes. He's like, no. Gave me his back, and I just finished it off. And it was his first pro fight too. So.
Oh, okay.
See, that's the other thing. Like you have to take things with a grain of salt too. Like we talk about, like that experience means something.
Right.
He made sure in his amateur career he got so much experience. Like
Right.
you could put him in a position he's not gonna guys spaz out when they get in these positions they can't do nothing.
Throughout the whole fight camp, I was telling myself, he's the older guy, but I have the more experience. I've had maybe like 100 amateur fights, maybe.
Okay.
Something like that.
Something like that, and about 6 pros. So I'm telling myself, he's gonna burn himself out. So in the beginning of the round, he hit me with an illegal knee.
Okay.
And I purposely, you watch the video, I'll put my hand on the mat. I'm like, I know he's gonna hit me with a knee because he's so excited. It's his first pro fight, so he wants to use
be all flashy.
Yeah, he wants to use these weapons.
Right.
So mid-fight, when they gave me the break after the knee, I was, telling myself, he's gonna burn himself out. Let me just be patient and relax.
Mm-hmm.
He's this is his first pro fight, so he's gonna get tired. And as soon as I felt him, giving up, I reversed him, mounted him, elbow, and finished. So mid-fight, I changed the game plan.
Okay.
I felt out his power. I'm like, he's not really strong. And he's just excited right now.
Right.
He's nervous too, so he's just throwing. He was sloppy, and my boys Fabian and Tyree, they were cage side. They saw it, mid-fight, and that's, I feel really good about that. I had the experience going into that fight, and mid-fight I changed the game plan and worked out, so I got another finish on my record.
Okay. So for people at home that aren't familiar with the sport, and people that are just kind of like casual fans and look into it, what made you kind of, I guess, just want to do this professionally, want to do mixed martial arts professionally?
The thing
Who wouldn't
is,
want to get paid to punch people in the face, man?
Yeah, that's true.
so I grew up playing football. I wanted to be the next, like Michael Vick.
Right.
Even though I would throw a football and it would go that way. But yeah, I wanted to play football, and I was just on TV, and I'm like, this looks cool. I went to the gym, and oh man, I still got my videos from when I first started this. Terrible.
Really?
Mid-work,
You go back
terrible.
and watch some of that stuff
Yeah,
now.
it
It's like,
I'm
oh man,
oh, I had
delete it. I want to see it no more.
You remember I was rocking the Jackson 5 afro. It was
Oh my
terrible.
God, brother.
I'm like, I'm posting like first day at the gym. But I definitely see I grew in this sport, and what made me want to do it is first time I punched someone in the face.
It's
honestly.
just the feeling about
felt
it.
good.
It's the
I got
basic,
ya.
man. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to think about it. If you thought about like guys my age, if that sport was around when we were younger, like come on, man.
Right.
Like I mean, it really blew up like around like '93 is when the sport was kind of really formed. I'm already 13 at the time.
Right.
The sport didn't really come big till I was like mid-20s. So there goes half my being able to build a good game set,
And
plan all that stuff.
The beginning
for you as a
days of
fight career.
UFC, like without any commissions, where they could stomp each other in the face.
Oh, yeah.
Someone
yeah.
my size could face someone like
400 pounds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 400 pounder. That was like my childhood. I was getting into fights and just beating people up.
Right.
Like,
But they're bringing
It was
that back.
just
With, we had Pride, but I think Rizen's kind of going to be taking some of that the odd part of it.
the only thing I don't like is I don't want to get stomped in the face, like, or I don't want to get I'm on my knees.
So I
don't
guess
wanna
it's
get
safe to
kicked
say
in the
we're
head.
not going to see Timmy go over and fight for Risen anytime
No,
soon.
hell
We're not going to go overseas and take some crazy
One,
fights.
those guys are allowed to get stay juiced up, and
Juiced up ain't even the word.
Yeah, right.
Vitor
Isn't
Belfort's
even the
like almost
word.
50, and he's like just solid. I'm
come
like,
on, man.
oh.
They're like when you see some of it, that stuff that went on over there, and to see guys like Fedor come out of that, and like that's why he has that air about him that people speak about Fedor, and because he was beating up juiced out guys, and he's looking like freaking your dad just sitting on the couch, like
Right. When I heard of Fedor, like I would hear his name. I never seen him. I'm thinking of like a
this
nice
big muscular dude, right? And you just
like-
see this
like-
unassuming,
Then I
quiet
just
man.
I just see this guy with a dad bod, and I'm like, what the just
Yeah,
taking
he's the
people
most
out like it's
dangerous
nothing.
man in a dad bod you'll ever meet, dude.
And you get some
but
guys like
that
that.
goes
though.
back to the weight class we were thinking. That guy should have never fought at heavyweight, and he was mangling guys 30 pounds heavier.
It's like when Big Country Nelson used to fight. He had the biggest dad bod in the world, but he could knock people out.
I'm still mad at him for making everyone retweet them tweets and never cutting down to 85. Freaking bastard. Remember that? Remember that, Timmy? He put that out there like when he had a couple losses and he went on there on social media. He was like, if this thing gets X amount of retweets, I'll cut down to 85. And then he got to it. He was like, I'm just kidding. I'm eating my Burger King right now. But no, man, but can you imagine if he actually took it seriously with the power he had at that weight class and you put him down at 185 pounds, what he would have done?
Yeah. But that's just the kind of guy he was. He wasn't cutting down.
I like food. I like to do things my way. But just that's what I mean. Like we have guys who are notable stars in the sport, and they didn't even take it seriously.
Right.
So we're gonna get to a point in time with his generation of fighters, and right behind it that are gonna be so incredibly talented.
Well, that
these guys are gonna just seem like parlor tricks to us.
Well, that, and we'll wrap up in a quick minute, but they also have a lot more access than compared to like as far as like nutrition and stuff like
and
that
that's
as
another
well.
thing. Like the way, we'll get into that on some of this other stuff. Where this sport has changed so much just over the last 5 years, it's insanity.
Right.
USADA.
Yeah.
You have USADA, but USADA's damn near whatever anymore because you can just snitch out your way and you can send this trip down or whatever. I still think USADA wasn't the right company to go with. I'll still to this day think that WADA was the better one to go with. They have a better plan. They don't have this gray area stuff, and you're still going to have a lot of these problems where you don't have unified rules. Every state's kind of different. There's all these different things going on. So the sport's still young. Everyone's still learning. We're still going to grow with the sport.
Right.
I still sit there and say, like, if they get the right people in the right places, they could very well be in the conversations with the top 4 sports in North America.
Yeah. Anyone have anything else before we wrap up?
Yeah. I mean, I just made some announcements on social media. Everyone who's been following the page, just we've been doing the thing with Philly Drinkers. So. They already have a giveaway.
That's gear. Go to phillydrinkers.com. Get yourself a shirt, hat, got everything.
Yeah, I already placed my order, and so what they're doing their own giveaway this weekend. They're announcing on the 8th. They're going to announce the winner. Someone's going to get the St. Patty Day T-shirt.
T-shirt, yeah.
Now what I'm doing is I'm adding on to that. Anyone who shows me proof that you've placed an order in this month. We got some posters over here.
Signed posters.
We got signed posters. We got some stuff. Like I said, I've accumulated a lot of memorabilia through doing MMA media and stuff like that. And, depending on the amount of people that we have buying stuff and being active with it, I might add to it. We have some unsigned posters. We have signed posters. Me and Jake have already discussed this moving forward that we're going to be doing some jersey giveaways.
But other than that, I think we're all good.
I think so.
Tim, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
As always, guys, this...
Oh, wait, one more thing. I forgot to bust on you about this, brother. How don't you know what stink bugs are and you live in Jersey?
You talking about the little thing that was on crawling on me at work? Hey, I'm like...
Wait. Look, we live in the part of the wooded parts of our area, and you don't know what a stink bug is, bro. Come on.
Give me a second.
He's looking at us.
You're talking about this one right here.
Oh, that's not a stink bug.
That is not a stink bug.
Which one are you talking about?
That's a caterpillar.
That's a caterpillar.
Hey, I don't know.
Anyway.
All right, y'all.
All right, guys.
Wrap it up,
As
man.
always, Jake Friel, Steve Rice-Shell, Ralph Delvecchio on the ones and twos.
Big shout out to Timmy Tyler. Thanks for coming in, brother.
Thank you guys for
Good luck on your fight.
Thank you.
And as always, we're brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, and Princeton locations, as well as Ambuck Services. Tell the guys at Ambuck if you want to get gutters done, roof done, any outdoor stuff to your house done. Tell them A2D sent you, get yourself 10% off. As always, Jake Friel, host of the Weekly Roundup, and we'll see you guys on another episode next week. Later, guys.